Digwydd, agus filteróisteach is mis drolín an bhfuil tú go má? Are you well? And welcome back to Magick Monday. So magic. What is magic? What defines magic? What is the etymology of magic? Who does magic? Why do magic? Well, I guess to preface this video, you might want to scroll back. Oh, many, many moons back. Be it the full moon. Many moons ago, I did a video with a dear friend, Robert Barton, who happens to be the author of a book called Rites of Driocht, Rites of Magic, Druid Magic, Rites of Driocht, Dance of Oak and Wren by Robert Barton. You can find it on Amazon. Very well written, well researched. But Robert and I did two videos when he came to visit the last time. One was on clergy, sacrificial clergy versus sacramental clergy, and the other video was about magic, but from more of a Gaelic perspective. So, what do we really know about magic? Well, our first or earliest written sources are in cuneiform. The word magic itself comes from, this is killing me. The word magic itself comes from what I believe to be a Persian influence on the Greek, which, if we know anything about the word magic, we also know about the Magi. Biblically speaking, the Magi, they were magicians. They were Zoroastrians. They came out of Iran, Persia. And that's where we get this word magic from the Greek, from the Latin. And that's where we get the word mage from. And there's a video out there by a channel called Religion for Breakfast. And it's an amazing YouTube channel. You should check it out. It's a wide variety of different topics. And it's extremely well organized, well researched. And he did a video on the Druids. He's done videos on, and the point I'm making here is he did a video on the Magi and this concept of where does magic come from. In this wizardry, sorcery, soothsaying, fortune telling, these classical accounts of what is magic. What do you know? In Gaelic culture, Driocht is druid magic. Filiocht is poetic magic. And there's different types of magic in the Celtic sense because it's everywhere and it's all the time. And it's something that every profession had. You know, your weaver, your spinner, your blacksmith, your carpenter, your sailor. It was interwoven into every aspect of daily life. It's in the rhythm of songs. It's in the place names. It's in the stories. But is magic one of these things that you do? We do magic. Or is magic something that we experience? Maybe it's not the mystical waving of arms and intonations of invocations. Maybe it's the art and science of the ability to change one's consciousness at will. We know anthropologically that they call them the 4 Ds of shamanism: drumming, drugs, dreaming, and dance. These all lead to a different state of consciousness. And that's kind of the goal in magic in a way too, is the ability to change your state of consciousness at will for a purpose. There's a goal and there's a purpose. Magic's not entertainment. And I'm sure in the classical sense, there was sleight of hand and stage magic used alongside. Here, eat these mushrooms and let me tell you a story. And then someone's going to play music at the same time. Of course, you're going to have a very magical experience. These people worked and lived and died on the farm. And they struggled. And they didn't have vacations. They couldn't just pick up and go. They were often tied to a place. And for things like depression or anxiety, stress, things like mushrooms and other herbs could be used to alter a state of consciousness. And then you would have someone tell a story, and then you would have someone play the harp, and then you would sit there and allow your mind to go places that it never would when you're out in the fields turning the dirt. So who does magic? Well, in the classic sense, a magician, a wizard, a druid, a witch, a shaman. But a further in-depth study would say that all people had the ability to do magic, given the need. Now, some people went to school for these things. Some people were educated in these things. You could go to a someone who that was their profession. You would go to them for a casting of lots. You would go to them for healing. You would go to these people because you were wronged by your neighbor. Maybe they stole your cattle and you were trying to use magic against them, that maybe they won't have a baby or something. Or you would carve votive types of images and put them in the water because maybe you hurt your knee at war and you sat there and carved this thing and prayed over it, put it in the water, flowed downstream. There's different types of magic, But why do we do magic? Oftentimes people resort to magic when nothing else is working. They've knocked on their neighbor's door trying to resolve the issue. Maybe they even got into an altercation and things came to throwing of hands. And maybe they want peace. Maybe they want justice. Maybe they want revenge. Magic, and this is my opinion, is neutral. It's just the manipulation of an energy source. its vibration, its frequency. What do you plan on using it for and why? It's kind of like being the conductor of an orchestra or a sculptor. You're, I don't want to say, playing with it's a different word, manipulation's a different word. You're working with an energy and you're shaping it for a purpose. Now, it can be malevolent, it could be for blessings. You can use it, I guess, just like in Star Wars. Well, how do we do magic? Well, to get to the root of it, it's intent. It's all in your mind and in your heart. There has to be a deep desire, a passion, a need, not just a want. We often forget that our ancient ancestors invented things by inspiration. So for us not to dream that myth forward into the future, that we too might look back on what they did and what we know that they did, their methods, that we can be inspired from our ancestors to dream the myth forward, that we too can use that inspiration to invent and create things that will work for us individually. Some people are of the mindset that magic only works when it's done privately, just with the individual, not with a group. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that it works just fine alone, raising energy. I think it works just as well working with the right group. Um, Shared mindset for a shared goal. You know, maybe the crops are failing and they need rain. So there's a rain dance. People come together and use energy. They work with energy to raise energy. This can be done through, do I dare say, prayer, mantras. Um, but we've all heard of the word, oh, it's a magic spell. It's a spell. She put a spell on me. She betwixt me. I put a spell on you because you're mine. It's called a spell because, like I mentioned in a previous video, the power of language. You spell. You are spelling. You are using letters that have meanings. You're using words that have meanings. You're combining these things. Kind of like a paralegal or an attorney. There's no loopholes in this. That this is seen to be done. You know, it's so be it. It's be it so. It's so mote it be. It is make this so. It's seeing it already done. When do we do magic? Well, there are auspicious times. Today is the full moon. So for a lot of people, um, they would use specific times to do magic. Times of the day, planetary hours, full moons, new moons, eclipses, thunderstorms, um, fog, Kyo. Um, Magic can be done anytime. Now, is it a matter of doing magic for power or wanting power? And power over what? And why? Why do you want this power? Maybe your magic is not asking for power. Maybe it's just, you know, working with a special force or a deity for a resolution. But these are usually last result things. It's, you know, you try to make your ancestors proud of you, and the gods, to often not notice you. You don't want to be on their radar. Everybody's like, the gods, the gods, the gods. Since when in history and in mythology or folklore, or whatever you want to call the lore, has it ever been a good idea to be on the gods' radar? Their agenda is their own, and it might not be for your benefit. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say appease them, but like, honor them, respect them, veneration, but also leave me the hell alone. Like, I don't want to be bothered by the gods. I'd rather have a very firm relationship with my ancestors on the other side. They're your direct link to the other side. And the gods could probably give two shits anyway. Their will is their will to do whatever they want. They're not bound by time or space, and they're surely not stuck in the Iron Age like the way so many people envision them. So we covered the who, the what, the when, the where. Where do we do magic? Where? Well, do we do it outside? Do we do it inside? Do we do it in a sacred space inside of our homes? Do we do it in the kitchen? Are we doing kitchen magic? Are we near the hearth? Are we in the backyard? Are we in the patio? Are we in the pool? In the hot tub? Are we in a grove? Are we at a stone circle? Are we at a nematon? Where do you want to do magic? In bed. Anyway, yeah, so there's that too. There's sex magic. There's happy fun time sex magic, but that's another video. Shall we? We shall. Yeah, so you can do magic if you need to do magic in the grocery line. You can do magic in your car while driving. If there's a need for it and you feel a call to do it and you don't know how to do it, you just trust your intuition. Be a child that's unfamiliar with it, that's learning how to play with a new toy. Did you ever hand like a 2-year-old a toy that they've never played with before? And they're like, it's discovery. How does this work? What does this do? Can I turn this on? Does it make a sound? Can I shake it? What does it smell like? That's a good question. What does magic smell like? What does it look like? Going over your 5 senses Get a piece of paper. Do it right now. Get a piece of paper. Write down your five senses. What does magic look like? What does magic sound like? What does magic taste like? What does it smell like? Unicorn farts. There's no right or wrong answers, but there are going to be answers that only you have for you, and that might lead you down the path of more self-discovery. And that's kind of what magic is all about. It's special, it's important, it's private. It can be very personal to you in your relationship with deity or the ancestors or the spirits of time and place here and now. So who, what, when, where, why, how do we do magic? Why do we do magic? That's a good one. Why? Well, how do you do it? Well, I'm assuming, and it's not a good word to use, but many of you have a Christian background. You're familiar with at least the concept of prayer. There's different types of prayer. Prayer can be extrapolated in such a way that it's built upon to create something similar to a spell. So a spell is like a very complex type of prayer. You cannot petition the Lord with prayer. So, how do you do this magic? Like, where does it come from? Is it an internal thing, or are we drawing upon our ancestors? Are we drawing upon the natural world? Are we drawing upon something happening in the celestial heavens above us? Are we combining energies with the people that we're working with to raise energy? There's lots of neat things to discover, to learn about, to keep an open mind about. And anybody that says that they have all these answers to magic certainly hasn't dabbled in it long enough, because I've been doing magic a very long time. I actually remember doing magic as like a 5-year-old and playing with stuff that I didn't know what it was at my grandmother's house. Forgot about that. That right there, that experience, that change of perception, that's magic. Sometimes it's something that happens to you. So the who, what, when, where, why, how, that's a basic little insight for you guys today on this Magick Monday, the full moon of November. I believe this is, some people are calling this the blood moon, hunter's moon. Yes, it was a beautiful moon on the ride home. But it's getting late. So, Iowa agus Kalasov. Tugabogey. Slangafall. Cheers.